goodness me, it is hot in the UK right now. I apologise if I'm a bit sweaty and red. We don't know how to prepare for this, guys. Pray for the UK. Forget subscribe and just send some thoughts and prayers, because as we know, thoughts and prayers do more than anything else. But we are here today to talk about Lizzo, who is one of the breakout artists of the past few years. She was kind of on that trajectory with her singles. I remember hearing tracks like Boys, I remember hearing tracks like Juice and thinking, damn, this artist should be pretty popular. But at the time, it didn't really feel like there were many artists doing this kind of like fun pop thing, getting mainstream. Can you believe it? Making fun pop music doesn't really get you mainstream anymore. I just can't believe it. But it just wasn't. I just wasn't sure if she'd be able to break through. But she managed to break through with some of her worst songs. To be honest, like Truth Hurts. I mean, it's got to be said, The Truth Hurts is not very good. But regardless, she made that leap, she made that breakthrough and had some massive success. And unfortunately, the album that came with it wasn't particularly very good either, even though there is a lot of potential in what Lizzo does to make just some fun, carefree, dancey pop music. It just doesn't always translate well because the production on 'Cause I Love You specifically was really over the top, and it was just too mixed badly. It doesn't even make sense. But the booming, like, just felt really over the top. Everything just felt big for the sake of being big. It didn't make the songs sound very good. It wasn't very flattering on the ears, and it was just a bit of a letdown because I could see that there was potential in Lizzo to make something really good, and it just didn't come. But she still is here dropping some really good singles. About Damn Time is exactly the kind of thing that I think Lizzo should be doing. I feel like she should just be a bit more understated. I feel like she should be focusing a bit more on the funkiness, the funky side of her, just bringing out a really memorable chorus that, again, just shows that carefree side of her. You still get those Lizzo-isms with like the thick 30 line, and some of the other lines on the verses are very Lizzo too. I feel like people tend to eat that up, but she can be a bit cringe in my opinion. But because she's singing it so well, and on the second verse she kind of brings in a bit of a rap into it, it's just really fun, it's just really easy to get down to, and I just have a good time with it. This is genuinely one of the better pop songs I've heard this year in the charts. This is one of my favorites charting songs. I think it's really good. I think the final section where she's like, I'm coming out tonight, is really fun too. Very nice callback to like Diana Ross. And of course, this song generally is a huge callback to that disco era, which I think is what Lizzo is really good at doing. And to be fair, I think she plays to her strengths generally across this album. I feel like musically, this album is pretty good and doesn't go overboard, over the top with the production. It kind of stays in a bit more of that funky zone. Not all the time, but I'd say most of the time. The Sign, I think, is a good track as well. I think it's a fun tune. Of course, she talks about her ass a lot on this one. She kind of makes a point of it and has just ran with it. And I don't know why she's doubling down on talking about her ass so much. I mean, it's not even like, you know, offending people really. I just think people are like, why are you talking about your ass? And then she's like, oh, you don't like it when I talk about my ass, you're so offended. But no, it's just like, why'd you just talk about it all the time then? Like, why? I'm not offended. Why would you keep talking about it? But Lizzo will be Lizzo. She will do this. She will talk about having smoothies and twerking and how that's healing her. You're always going to get lines like this that make absolutely no sense, but you kind of just get down with it because it's fun and it sounds fun too. But another thing that Lizzo was doing quite a lot of previously was kind of like empowering songs, which I didn't always think translated all that well. To be quite frank, I thought she came across quite preachy at times. God, I am a bit sweaty, aren't I? What is up with me, man? I do not look my best. This was not a good day to record. I think the idea of, you know, to be loved, sort of like, you know, kind of announcing that, you know, she's sort of finally ready to be loved because she's realized that she just has accepted herself for who she is. It's a very cliche thing, but it's a pretty nice message. You can't really fault what she's saying, even if it is preachy and even if it is very on the nose. I thought Special was pretty good too, where she's talking about how, you know, like, she's twisting something that comes her way negatively to kind of just empower other people to just, you know, always remember that you're special. Again, it's really like basic stuff that you've heard so many times in all forms of media, but I think the way she kind of like uses something that happens to her, like, you know, she goes, the minute she wakes up, there's someone talking about something she's done and how they're just finding a way to just bash her, really. And then twisting that and just kind of going, well, forget all that, just remember that you are special and things like that. It's a nice sentiment. I can't really fault it. Certainly has more to it than tracks like, you know, I Love You Bitch, where the refrain is just so repetitive and she keeps just saying she loves you, bitch. And then Birthday Girl, which literally feels like it's social media catered, in that, you know, everyone's just going to be using this song whenever their, you know, girly girl is having a birthday party, and they're just going to be posting this on TikTok or something like that, or on Instagram, you know, the kind of thing. It's an appeal to that kind of audience. It feels very like catered and tailor-made for that. And the song itself is fine, it's fun, I guess, but yeah, it just feels a bit too obvious what she's doing here. Very easy marketing ploy. You get that a little bit as well with the track Girls, which has not a great chorus. It doesn't annoy me as I thought it was gonna, though. I really thought this track, of all tracks, would be really annoying to my ears, but it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. But of course, you know, again, it's very tailor-made to the girly girls. It's not made for me. I'm not the audience for this, but there are many young girls that will be using this media for their friends. And to be fair, whether it's for me or not, she knows her audience really well, I think. She knows the kind of songs to make. And at the very least, you could even say this about Everybody's Gay as well, where it just feels like, again, she's just pointing towards a target audience directly and being like, this song is for you. And to be fair, out of all the ones that she does this for across the album, this is easily the best one. I do not know why more songs on the album do not sound like this. They should, because they really should. And they should sound a lot like About Damn Time too, which goes for the slicker, funkier, groovier instrumental. That's just instantly, you know, hooky. You know, you're hooked straight in. You're just taken aback by the instrumental. It sounds so good. It sounds so crisp, and you just want more of this. Not to say that other tracks on this album don't do this, but they don't do it as well as this and About Damn Time. These are two tracks that are easily the best ones. It feels like something Anderson .Paak was doing on Malibu quite a few years ago, to be fair, but I don't mind hearing it here when it's done this well. It also feels like it's literally made for a Drag Race lip sync song, so you're gonna have to crop this part of the video, and in like 2 years' time, when you see this in a lip sync on Drag Race, you can go, he was right. He was right. But yeah, a really good track. It just has a bit of that MJ flair to it too. It's just got the fun, disco-y grooves that I think Lizzo surely should know by now, that this is where her strengths lie. I don't know, maybe she wants to try and diversify her album. Maybe she doesn't want to be, you know, linked to one thing, and she doesn't just want to be one type of artist, which is fair. I think a lot of artists want this as well. But when you just hear songs like this and you think this is exactly the kind of song you should be making, it's just a bit disappointing to see that the artist doesn't try and cater more of the songs to this sound. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's pretty good. I think lyrically, you're going to get those Lizzo-isms that you either really like or you're like me and just find it a bit cringe. But it's not as bad as it has been in the past, I don't think. And when it has been a bit cringy on this album, I've kind of given it a pass because the songs sound pretty good as well. So yeah, I'm on board with this one slightly. A reluctant slightness towards liking this album because I think there's still huge rooms for improvement. And if you had just like, you know, a 10-track album of all the songs sounding like About Damn Time, I'd have probably given this an 8, to be honest. I mean, do you honestly disagree with that? Even if you're like a big Lizzo fan and you love this album, do you really disagree with that? Because I think if all the songs sounded as good as that one, in terms of the production, I think this would have been such a stellar album, but it doesn't, and it falls short because Lizzo does what she does. It doesn't always appeal to me. But I think overall it's pretty okay, and I'm going to go 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching this review as always. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Apologies for, I just look a bit sweaty in this video. I did not want to do this, but it might be like this for the next week in my videos because it's sweaty season in the UK and we do not have houses that are made to combat this. So I apologise. I will try my best. Have a good day. Let me know your thoughts as well, and goodbye.